Many people, myself included, are deeply afraid of the vast bottom of the ocean. There is something unnerving about its open depths. The unexplored potential of it. It could be filled with grand monsters of unthinkable size and power, while you yourself are weakened to the point of uselessness. It is an understandable fear, and some people are afraid of space, how it is in many ways never ending, the vast beyond our understanding. It is so far apart in its distance that there are many bodies and realms within it that it would take hundreds of generations of even the most long-lived races to get there. While unfortunately for people who fear both of these things, there is a place that is almost a combination of these two realms. A vast sea-like space where things don't follow the normal rules of reality. Today, I shall be talking about the astral plane, for I wish to tell you of a type of dragon that dwells there, uncreatively named the Astral Dragon. Luckily for us, the Astral Dragon is not as terrifying as the realm it inhabits. Well, it could be. They are one of the most powerful dragons I can think of, but they are usually isolationists when compared to most other dragons, and these Astral Dragons are exceptions for vast myriads of reasons. For a start, their bodies are shaped completely differently to most other dragons. They are much, much longer, as well as thinner than others. Quite a lot of them possess hair, funnily enough, and most bizarrely of all, they do not possess wings. But they can still fly unhindered. Well, it's less so flying, and more so hovering, akin to what the amethyst dragons do. But their power does not come from their body. It comes from their endless intelligence and spellcasting capability. In fact, I would go so far as to say that they have no rival when it comes to this capability. But the reason for this is a little misleading. See, they are not as naturally gifted as other dragons. For example, let's say there is a golden dragon that is 600 years old, and an astral dragon of the same age. The gold would probably floor the astral dragon when it came to spellcasting capability. So why do I say this? Well, it is all mostly due to the nature of the realm they inhabit. You will never come across a scenario where an astral dragon will be the same age as anything it is facing. See, in the astral plane, nothing ages. It will be extended for countless time, and most astral dragons are beyond ancient for this reason. There could even be a wormling who is hundreds of years old because of this. Fortunately for the astral dragon, they possess an ability to create portals that lets them travel between the realms, so that they can travel to another realm and age normally, then return to stay immortal, studying more power and gaining control over their magical abilities endlessly. See, this is why they are unmatched, for though they are classed as a young adult, they are actually thousands of years old in reality. I think I should tell you more about this realm itself before going into more detail about the dragon, since the next aspects of it are going to require some context. So, for a start, how do I put this part? The astral realm sort of doesn't really exist. Well, it does clearly, you can go there obviously, but it's not really a realm. It's more so a sea among space, or more aptly, a realm between the other realms. See, there are many ways to travel between the realms, mostly with the likes of magic. There's plenty of spells you can cast to do so, and there's these sort of rift highways you can take that brings you from one realm to another. You can usually find these portals surrounded by circle stones that are usually telling of what realm they'll send you to. And of course they are all guarded heavily for many reasons. Some of them can even be turned on and off, and some can't. But sometimes things happen, usually magical shenanigans that result in you being flung into the Great Void because your barbarian party member thought it would have been a great idea to destroy a legendary artifact because people were bickering. But more on that later. You see, if something happens and there's a sort of, shall I say, glitch in reality and you're sent to a non-existing realm, or perhaps maybe you just wish to travel to another realm, but don't really have the previous means described in order to go through the space between the realms, you end up in the Astral Realm. This is the sea of space that is in between all of the other realms, as said before, whether you want to be there or not. And it is for this reason that it does not follow the usual rules. For a start, you can't really walk when you are in this realm. You sort of have to float through the void. The void, by the way, feels like a solid object you are just sort of pushing your way through. It's almost like a sort of jelly that goes around your body. Oh, and in order to move, you need to be more intelligent. The smarter you are, the faster you move. The less intelligent, the slower you move, obviously. And there is close to nothing in the dark and empty void other than giant rocks, the occasional monster, and psionic space pirates, because in the void of space there is still banditry somehow. It's the thing that always boggles my mind. But the thing about this empty space is it would be very hard to lair in. So where do astral dragons lair? Well, they have developed a very unique way of getting over this problem. See, the egg they are born in does not stop growing, even after they have hatched out of it. Now, it does take them quite a bit longer for them to actually hatch, and when they do, it is always from either the top or the very bottom of the egg. But they will continue to grow and use the egg. It is a never-ending communion between the two. The egg sort of becomes their lair, and it's very helpful as it's near invisible in this void of space, so unless you know exactly where it is, the astral dragons have an innate connection towards it, while you're just never going to find it. But another unique thing about them is their breath weapon. It is quite a powerful effect that, although it does no damage, it is near lethal given the realm they dwell in. See, their breath, in short, makes you an idiot. To be precise, it stupefies you for a while. It stops your brain from working correctly. The mist it exudes goes into your brain and stops it from making more connections. And in a realm where your movement is based entirely on your intelligence, leaving you unable to move entirely, well, you're just a sitting duck. But with all this power being stated, there is a glaring flaw and weakness that they try desperately to avoid as much as possible, and it is related to their jumps between reality. See, when they teleport to another realm, there is a very slim chance, mind you, but a slim chance nonetheless, that they will not be able to return. And when this happens, their mind is completely shattered, turning them berserk and feral, attacking all they see. And a really scary thing I heard, there is an implication that this happens because they witness something out there while travelling between the realms that caused their brain to shatter. And since the ones that survive do not remember anything that happens during this time, well, they simply could not tell us. But the ever-looming fear of eldritch horrors aside, it is actually possible to help them when this happens, by returning them to the astral plane. I don't know if they can actually travel again once they have been returned. It's something I'd never really found out, but I wish I knew they could be saved before. See, I am beyond saddened to learn this much after it. Perhaps it is time I tell the tale of an astral dragon that I had met. So, as I hinted at earlier, my party at the time had found a legendary artifact, a sword that was beyond powerful, by the name of Glithmund. Our party at the time was me, a wizard, with a ranger, a paladin, and a barbarian. Both the ranger and the paladin were arguing over which of them should use the sword. I was trying to persuade them to decide this later when we had gotten out of the dungeon. But the barbarian had a much different way to shut them up. He'd simply smash the sword over his knee. The resulting force of chaotic magical energy that flowed through the ground forced me to sort of slip through the wall, and while since I wasn't in our reality anymore, I was flung somewhere else. I'd also like to note that I was the only one who suffered because of this, and I was the most peaceful one, regardless. I was flung into the void and drifting in the sea-like space between the realms. I was there for weeks. Ooh, side note, you don't actually need to eat or drink when in the void. Your body does not age, and so you do not have any requirements. You don't even need to breathe when you're in that realm. I still did so out of habit because I think most would, but it's quite bizarre. And after my long wait of floating through the void, I was attacked by a horrid creature I could not even begin to recognize. But I was then luckily saved almost immediately by an astral dragon, that then greeted me kindly and wondered what I was doing. I kindly informed him that I was recklessly flung out here by thy careless party. He, in retort, laughed. I laughed with him, and the two of us began discussing, well, all sorts of things, really. I ended up enjoying his company so much, I stayed there for almost a year. His name was Anlong, and he had such a lovely time with me that he actually decided to give me a gift, a magical item, a wand that would let me travel to another realm once per day, and if I used it again within 24 hours, I could return to the realm I was initially in. But this is where the story takes a sad turn. He personally wanted to escort me back to my home realm, and out of all the times for it to happen, this was the time he went berserk. That was the day where something just went wrong, and he attacked everything. Unfortunately, he even took me to a major settlement on the other end of the world and just started destroying everything. The local adventurers of that land helped me in subduing him, but he was unfortunately slain in the melee. It was only 2 years later that I learned that he could have been saved, and it was by using the very item he gave me. I will always hold his death in my heart. There was no way for me to know how to save him, but even still, I can't help but feel a bit responsible for his death. It is in the past, though. Thank you for listening to my tales. I'm the Ashspawn. Feel free to leave a like, comment, or subscribe. It would really mean a lot to me. But until next we meet, fellow traveller, have a good day.